It is Wednesday night, and that means it's time for another episode of the Kicking Out podcast. I'm Paul Zartman, joined tonight by Austin Shepard. Good evening, sir.
Cheers.
What are we drinking tonight?
Well, I haven't made it to get the good tequila yet.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know shit about tequila, okay? I'm learning.
Right.
But I haven't made it to get any Dax Harwood tequila. So tonight we're drinking El Mayor. It's a Blanco, and it's 100% agave, handcrafted, family-owned. 100% blue agave. It's the only thing I could find around here that would fit some of Dax's
requirements.
So I know he's not a Blanco guy. He likes a little bit different stuff, but this isn't bad. This is the stuff we had the last couple of weeks when we did some cheers to the Briscoe brothers. So tonight I'm going to have a little bit of this as we start, and then we'll go back to the original, the go-to that we've had for the last 5 years or whatever.
All right. Well, while you drink that, I'll drink my my moonshine chaser, my Mountain Dew.
Ooh, moonshine. You have moonshine?
No, I don't have any moonshine.
I like moonshine.
But Mountain Dew used to be used as a chaser for moonshine, so or so I've been told. I know, the internet never lies.
So you're saying here, not only does Tanner got to get me the Casa Azul out of Fort Wayne, I need to get on the lookout for some real moonshine that we could chase it with Mountain Dew.
Sure.
I can work on that.
All right. Now, I know we normally cover Dynamite, but we're going to dive right into the rabbit holes tonight because I know you watched it, and so did I, the Royal Rumble.
Okay. Besides the outcome, I was a little disappointed in the men's Rumble.
Yeah, it didn't live up to the hype. And it started the show.
First of all, this has nothing to do with Cody. But Cody's got his forever, the only Rumble winner. He's got an asterisk by his name. 29 guys, not 30.
Yeah.
That was dumb. You know how much talent is? I know they're trying to build a Ray and Dom storyline heading into Mania. I get it. Plenty of other times to do that. You have 2 television shows live every week. Give me. Booker T didn't know he's in the Rumble until the pre-show, and then done. God, I was kind of over it, and then you just kind of brought up all these emotions.
But okay, so what they should have done, in my opinion, is Ray's music hits. Ray doesn't come out. Dom comes out in his place wearing the mask as to signify, oh, look, I took my dad's spot because he's a weakling and I beat him up. See, here's his mask that I'm going to spend my entire 2-mile trip down to the ring trying to rip apart and can't even stretch it.
Yeah. Again, there's a reason why I don't watch this every week.
Yes.
And I'm not harping the guys that work there, because there were some damn good performers in the Rumble and on other matches on this card. But just obviously it's been all over social media. The high spot of the Rumble was Logan Paul and Ricochet, and
I don't know what they were trying to accomplish with that move. I mean, it couldn't have gone any other way but that.
And right before he took flight, Logan Paul says, "Let's steal this shit, or let's steal this something." Basically, let's steal the show. And I would think on the wrestling sites and fan sites, or hold on, wrestling social media and fan social media, not sites, that has gotten more coverage than actually Cody winning the Rumble was the high spot between with the midair collision. I'm not a Logan Paul fan. I'm not a Jake Paul fan. I'm not the Pauls fan. I can't. Well, all right. You're one Paul.
It's the first name, so I'm good.
Yeah, but I don't know. I mean, yeah, they made their money on YouTube and guys, you know, they're gonna put some butts in the seats because of signing Logan to a contract. He's a famous name, you know. Same way with Jake and his boxing and all that mumbo jumbo. But hey, and I guess nothing to take away from Logan. He's had some pretty good matches. The very few matches he's had, he's athletic. Don't get me wrong, he's athletic, and he tends to get a high spot in every match. You remember the match against Roman in Saudi where he did the elbow off the top and he had a camera in his hand.
Yeah.
Again, it gets some new viewers. I get it, but you know, I'm not going to buy a ticket or a pay-per-view just because he's on the card. Let's put it that way.
No, I'm right there with you. But I thought the main event was pretty good, so I'll give him that.
Yeah. Maybe, and I don't know if this is because Paul's involved. Another good Paul I like.
Yeah.
Paul Heyman. I don't know if it's him involved, but for once, and even I'll even include AEW on this. For once, we got some true raw emotion involved in a storyline.
Oh, absolutely.
And it's a storyline we've been building and building. You can tell this has Paul Heyman written all over it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And you got performers like Sammy and Roman, Kevin Owens. I won't say Kevin Steen, but Kevin Owens.
Yep.
And I tell you what, the damn Usos, I've been a fan for them for a while, and I cannot watch them. They're great. So again, awesome main event. Obviously, I love that. I'm guessing, I'm just assuming that Trips basically hands it over to Paul and says, "Do your thing."
Yeah.
And I'll stamp my approval on it. And Paul's got full, I want to say full creative, because creative is such a awful word in the WWE. But he's got a lot of leeway to do what he wants and to get what he wants. And yeah, they produced, and it sounds like we're going to get Roman versus Sammy at Elimination Chamber.
Yeah, we'll find out for sure on Friday, I'm sure.
Sure.
Somebody will find out. I don't know if I will, but
the women's Rumble had a little bit more surprises, and
yeah,
a little bit.
Although before the countdown even starts, we give the music for the 30th entrant. That was great.
Yeah.
Our music's playing. They realize who it is, and then they go 10, 9. Oh, fade that out. We already started this.
Yeah. Yeah, it was okay.
Did it seem like the women came out faster than the men? I didn't pay attention to the rules segment to see if there was a difference in timing, but it seemed like the women were coming out faster.
I felt like more women sprinted down the aisleway than the men. Some of the men walked.
Most of the men walked.
And not that this was bad placement, but it was okay. Before, so Corey Graves and what's his face?
Michael Cole.
Yeah, that guy. Cole and Graves, they go live, and before basically they can get their welcome out, a music hits.
Yeah, we're going straight to the Men's Royal Rumble right now.
And then all of a sudden, here comes Pat McAfee making his return after he had left after college. He went to work for ESPN in college football.
Yeah.
And almost thought Cole thought he was an entrance in the Rumble, which he said that they went to him at first wanting him to be in the Rumble, but no way he could get into shape. He got too much going on in life. We all get that.
Right.
So they literally flew him in, hid him from Michael Cole and Corey Graves.
Yeah.
And then threw him out there. So those reactions from Graves and Cole were 100% natural.
Yes.
What a great touch.
Oh, absolutely. You didn't tell me he was in it. I didn't know. I was FaceTiming him this morning, and he was in his studio in Indianapolis.
Yeah, and he even gave a shout out, because nobody likes Boston Connor, if anybody watches the Pat McAfee show. So I love that Cole gave a shout out to Boston Connor. Graves made the comment, I'd rather get a root canal right now than have to share the desk with Pat McAfee.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, until Cody, maybe I would think a little bit maybe bigger than Cody, biggest pop of the night.
Well, see, here's the difference. When Pat's music hit and everybody popped, Cole and Corey were still talking. So you couldn't get that true fan reaction. You couldn't hear the fans as well because commentary was going, whereas they went silent when Cody's music hit.
Yeah. So that boy McAfee, being an entertainer, man.
Oh, absolutely. His comments throughout the night were just spot on.
Yeah. The best part, when he jumped on the back of the chair and started jumping, about fell, had one of the security guys have to hold the chair. The country singer Hardy was sitting right behind him front row, which he performed later in the night.
Yeah.
Made sure to give him a shout out. McAfee did, but I mean, the guy literally, the best thing he has ever been at was a punter, and he is just making this media mogul guy just make it. He's gold.
Yeah.
And he has the way, he did stand-up comedy for a while. He started this podcasting thing out of his basement, and he's grown it into FanDuel giving him $50 million a year. Get signed up with the likes of Barstool.
Mm-hmm.
Loves Barstool. Doesn't like their board of directors because he can't make his own money. Publicly goes out and tells them what he's going to do. Signs up with the NFL Films. NFL comes at him about using logos, calls him out on a show. He's got hundreds of thousands, maybe millions of listeners. I mean, the guy doesn't care.
No.
But it works for him, and everybody wants to tune in and listen to him. Just like they want to tune in and listen to us.
Yes. And he brought a lot of that to the Rumble, I thought, because it was great that he, I'm sure he got a rundown of who was going to be in the Rumble, as they all do. But, he's sitting there. I don't even know who half of these guys are. And, Sheamus and Drew McIntyre. Well, they could be a great tag team. Well, they were. Oh, okay. What they call themselves? So we can't say that. Copyright issues. So, I mean, commentary was probably my favorite thing of the Rumble for a change. But, yeah. Especially during the pitch black match.
That one got fast forwarded by this guy.
You missed nothing. Apart from green shirt guy's shirt glowing.
I saw that on. He's great. Good for him.
Long-term storytelling by green shirt guy.
Yeah, I fast forwarded through that. It's another one. I think there was another one I fast forwarded through. I basically went 2 Rumbles, and
I skipped around through the Belair Bliss match.
Yeah, you're right. I did that too.
And most of the pitch black match.
Yeah. But I'm going to probably skip Elimination Chamber, but I'll more than likely watch both nights of Mania.
Probably.
Yeah.
Especially if you've got Peacock. I mean, you're already paying for it.
What an awful streaming service, by the way. They suck. It's crashes half the time. It just, I don't know.
I watch it the next day, and it still had spots where it was like skipping around in it.
Give me the $9.95 network back, and I am golden. But
All right. Well, pull us out of that rabbit hole, and we'll get started on Dynamite here.
okay.
Show starts out hot with Moxley versus Hangman Adam Page. Commentary through this one had me rolling. Taz was on one tonight, I think, because Excalibur slips up and calls him the Hangman, and Taz is like, "It's Hangman, not the Hangman." So of course Excalibur throughout the rest of the match refers to him as the Hangman. Moxley gets the win on this one.
I wasn't shocked, but the finish makes sense. Let's go there first.
Yes.
I love the finish. I love the heat after the finish. And I'm going to call it heat because these guys made me genuinely think they don't like each other. Okay. Yeah. Which we don't get a lot. After a hard-hitting match, a lot on AEW, you get guys shaking hands, hugging, paying a little respect to each other. We got no respect tonight. And
fingers I'm better than you. It was great.
Couple F-bombs. So I enjoyed that aspect of it. I don't think this is the end.
Oh, no.
So, this was best out of 3.
It's going to turn into best of 7.
I was going to say, can we turn this best of 5?
I'm okay with 5 too.
Yeah, as long as if they turn to best 7, don't give me the stupid NBA music. I'm over that. Give me the best of 5. We got a pay-per-view coming up down the road. So
get one more match on TV and then have them square off and whatever street fight, falls count anywhere, death by dishonor style, something or other at Revolution.
Yeah, I don't see Hangman a big street fight, death match type guy. Not saying he couldn't perform in one and make it work, but
yeah, he's done a Street Fighter too.
Yeah,
he just shows up in his jeans and a t-shirt.
Now, I did like the way they started the match. We got 5-6 minutes of them beating the tar out of each other around the arena before the bell officially rang.
Yeah,
they let Hangman use a table spot during the match, so he was okay that way. But
yeah,
I think these two guys just are hard-hitting guys in the ring, and I enjoy that aspect of it too.
Oh yeah. After we try to separate Hangman and Moxley, we go backstage to Mrs. Moxley. Renee Paquette is shown backstage with the Bunny and Jamie Hayter, and they agreed to no violence during this segment. The Bunny tells Jamie Hayter they were impressed with her last week. She then challenges her to an eliminator match next week, and Hayter agrees. However, Saraya and Toni Storm are then shown on a television attacking Britt Baker elsewhere backstage. We knew this was coming.
Yeah, we did. And then all you hear is Saraya saying, "This is our house."
You forgot the British accent.
Yeah, well, that ain't going to happen. I could go without a title eliminator now with the women since we obviously got rid of it on the men's. But, I mean, I would literally love to see Hayter go in there and smash her in under 4 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And obviously this just gets her doing something why Britt's going to be attacked for the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, she's still if it's a legit injury that's keeping her sidelined, a minor injury, of course, this gives her time to heal.
Yeah, so, I mean, I get where the storyline's going. They're going to have the AEW originals versus the WWE move-ins, I guess you would call them.
The outsiders.
You don't use that one.
No, but they keep referring to them as outsiders.
Yeah, but
you can't call them the outsiders. I agree.
Yeah, no, that's just not gonna. They're not gonna carry the weight that those.
No, not at all.
So, yeah, I was okay with it. And I was glad it was over.
Up next, though, we got the Acclaimed in action, and their opponents were already in the ring. Two gentlemen we've seen previously, Turbo Floyd and Truth Magnum. They upgraded their gear a little bit since Indy.
Turbo's a stud.
And of course,
what was their tagline? Spin to win?
Something like that.
Yeah, no. Turbo's a stud.
Yeah.
Although his spot over the top of the rope tonight, he struggled just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
He was teetering on the edge, man. Yeah.
Right. Of course, the Acclaim called them the Bootleg Beverly Brothers, which is always good, I guess.
Yeah.
Of course, no question about this one. The Acclaimed won. Post-match, the Guns make their way to the ring, and they praise the match, but they want a shot at the titles, and they want an answer right now. Bowens reminds them that they're interrupting the top tag team in AEW right now, so they decided to ask the people. Unfortunately for the Guns, the fans say no. When asked if they deserve a title shot, Bowens agrees and says no. This led to them squaring off until Billy Gunn pulls them apart. He says he's sick and tired of it, and they can go ahead and beat the shit out of each other. He walks away as Austin Gunn says he is doing what he did their entire childhood and turn their back on them as he walks out. And he says, why don't you go to the back and do like you used to do and drown your sorrows in the bottom of a pill bottle. That one riled Billy up, I think a little more than they expected. Billy returns to the ring, but his microphone cuts out. He throws one down in anger and grabs another one and says, you know what? You want to do this? Fine. You've got a title shot.
Two things. There was two things tonight that you notice we didn't really go in depth in the match, but Hangman threw a beer in Mox's face.
Yes, he did.
Figure four on the floor, grabs a beer and dumps it on his face. With Mox's history, I could have done without that.
Right.
Okay. Now you talk about a sport that we have followed for years, and we have lost count of a number of talent that has been addicted to opioids, pain pills, whatever the hell you want to call them.
Yep. I
know they're going for the real aspect, right? They're going for tug your heart type stuff. I just don't know nowadays, and I'm not saying I'm getting soft. I don't know. You just hear so negative. I mean, telling me he drank too much. I don't know. I guess when you go into the other stuff, I don't know, it could rub some people the wrong way. I mean, it hit home, obviously.
Yeah, he was shaking a little bit while he was holding the microphone.
Yeah, I mean,
more than he normally does out of hyperness.
I get, you could hit the fact, hey, you were never home. You're on the road 320 days a year, yada, yada, yada. But I kind of out. I mean, obviously we're going to get the match, but I almost could have done without this segment. I really could have.
Yeah. I mean, we could have gone a different way to get about it, but not my favorite segment of the night, but not the worst either. So we'll talk about that coming up, though. Next, we see Jack Perry backstage as he says he's had an amazing time teaming with Hook, but he's done the tag thing before. This year isn't about that. This time he will be champion again by himself, which is where, Shep, you were hoping they were going with this.
Yeah. Not really. No.
I thought you wanted Jungle Hook over, like done with.
Oh, no, you're right.
Yeah.
I think they're two individual talents. Um, I like that he put over Hook saying, hey, he had my back no matter what. I'm going to do this on my own type deal. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think Jack Perry could be very, very successful as a singles wrestler. I think he's got a lot of upside. His age, obviously, his look. Even throw his name out of there. You know, I would love if he got rid of the Jungle Boy name, just went by Jack Perry. And I think they're leaning towards that because now they start calling him Jungle Boy Jack Perry or whatever. So yeah, it's time now. Right now, I don't see a place where he fits in.
No.
There's nothing really for him right now.
No. I was leaning one way, but the main event kind of changed that for me. So thought maybe you could get him in the TNT title picture, but not right now.
No, and their sizes might be the same, but I don't know. This could have happened, you know, in early AEW that I missed, but has him and Darby ever worked together?
Boy.
I mean, two completely different styles.
I think they might have once. Maybe. I don't know. Uncle Google will tell me.
Yeah.
As Shep would say.
Yeah. He's the uncle that half-ass never lies. But yeah, man, I don't know. I don't know. I almost think he has more of an ROH feel.
All right, I can deal with that though.
He's not the biggest guy in the world. I think him and Yuta could put on a match. Him or Garcia could put on a match.
Yes, they have for the TNT title.
I'm sure they have at some point.
Yeah. Looks like they faced off for the TNT title. It was an April 21st show, so I don't know if this is 22 or 21, but I'm guessing 22.
I don't have that good of a memory. I don't know what happened last week, so
I'm just looking at. Well, I got the match card here because he's still with Luchasaurus. So
okay.
Ranked number 3 in AEW with a 4-0 record. So yeah, early on for Jungle Boy in singles competition.
Did I see that Luchasaurus is getting sued over his mask?
Oh, I don't know.
I thought I saw that somewhere. Anyways.
21. April 21st of 21 is what I'm seeing. But anyway, yeah, up next, I'm going to butcher his name, and Shep, you can yell at me. Takeshita.
That's close.
Okay. Versus Brian Cage. I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce his first name. And of course, this one, Takeshita goes over, which I kind of saw coming. I mean, there's no reason for him to lose to Brian Cage.
There's no reason for Brian Cage to win right now.
Exactly.
But what happened on later in the evening made me feel like they are going to push this guy to the moon.
Yes.
I guess we'll get in that to a little bit, but I felt like, and I've not been a big Brian Cage fan.
No, you have not. Or Orange Cassidy for that matter.
Exactly. But I thought Brian Cage worked really well in this match.
He did. He looked strong in this. The loss here didn't make him look bad.
No. So, yeah, I could go along with Cage in this one. Takeshita was awesome. I don't know if you caught early on, they made a comment about him being 6'2", and Taz saying, "Oh yeah, just an inch taller than me."
Yes.
Taz is what, like 5'7"?
I think so.
Maybe.
Yeah. Like I said, Taz was on one tonight.
Yeah. So I got a chuckle out of that. But yeah, I thought for a Brian Cage match, it was very entertaining, hard hitting, well done, and
he's billed at 5'9".
so he's 5'7", maybe 5'9" with his boots on.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if we're and I guess I'm billed at 6'6".
Yeah, and I'm 6'1".
Well, I am 6'4", so
I'm 6'1", 185.
Oh, okay. All right. You just keep telling yourself that.
I do.
And for the people who don't watch this and only listen, they're probably like, well, he probably is.
Sure.
Yeah. This was a good match, though, overall. Like I said, I was impressed with Cage. And again, this doesn't make Cage look terrible, but I'm ready for that ROH talent to stay on ROH and not be on Dynamite.
Yeah, I think it has its play. It has its moments.
Mm-hmm.
You can cross, but don't make it a habit of it where we're not excited about it.
Or where we get 1/3 of a tag team or of a trios.
Yeah, I mean, I understand that. But when AEW started and the first year, all of a sudden we were getting all these appearances by people outside of AEW, out of other promotions, or having AEW talent show up in indie promotions or New Japan at the time. You realize how excited we were about that? Like, there'd be no rhyme or reason for me ever to be a fan of GCW if it wasn't because I saw AEW talent showing up in GCW. I've learned more professional wrestlers out of GCW because I started watching it because, I guess Matt Cardona isn't AEW, but Mox started showing up. ROH talent started showing up when they went. So yeah, I became a fan there. We were excited about it, but it didn't happen every week, every other week, every month.
Right.
It happened 3-4 times a year.
Yep.
Okay. Let's keep it that way.
Mm-hmm.
Let's make it an excitement. Make it a reason for them to come cross promote. We'll get into it here in a minute. We had a guy from Pro Wrestling Noah tonight.
Yeah.
Freaking loved it. Obviously the New Japan AEW relationship is okay, but as of what we saw in the last 30 days, Pro Wrestling Noah and AEW are obviously starting a partnership. They sent Sting and Darby over there for a match with the Muda for his last match.
Yeah.
And then they sent Timothy Thatcher over for a match with Bryan Danielson. Okay.
Yep.
So we got some, like, if we could do that, but just not saturate it where it's every week, every other week, maybe once a month, once every other month,
Yeah.
My thoughts.
Yeah. No.
My thoughts.
Hey, we care about your thoughts. That's why you're on here. What are you talking about?
Right.
The thoughts we don't care about come from the JAS, which we saw next backstage. And the Jericho Appreciation Society says Ricky Starks didn't lose to a baseball bat. He lost to them as a group. Sammy Guevara says they came up with an idea for the Garcia-Guevara gauntlet. Starks has to beat 2.0, then either Guevara or Garcia. And if he gets through all of that, he will face Jericho.
So basically, the way they did this, he's going to make it to Jericho.
Oh, yeah, he's going to make it to Jericho.
So you just buried everybody in the JS besides Jericho. Well,
Yes.
you didn't bury the purple hat.
Okay. Not yet.
Yeah, he wasn't there.
Not yet. That's going to happen. He'll get thrown in before somehow. I don't know yet, but they're going to do it somehow.
Yeah, I mean, I really like 2.0. Well, they're not called 2.0 anymore.
Yeah, I know, but you know,
they're entertaining to me. We don't see them in the ring a lot. And then I think one of the all-time heels right now, and the reason I give him that accolade is because I can't stand him. I can't stand when he speaks. I can't stand when he smiles. I can't stand when he wrestles, and that's Guevara. I like Garcia. I like him in the ring. I don't like him on the mic. But yeah, to me, you just buried all of them because we're gonna. And even Jericho says, when you get through them, you got to deal with me.
Yeah, like I said, we'll end up getting purple hat thrown in somehow, somewhere, some way. Don't worry.
Next.
All right. Up next was Bryan Danielson and Timothy Thatcher in a hard-fought match. Oh, wait. I forgot a segment backstage first. Hold on. That was the Elite, as it's not shown backstage, but they're on a basketball court because it's the Elite and they love basketball.
Well, hold on. We're at Wright State University.
Yes.
And they're in their Wright State, look like an auxiliary gym.
Okay.
Now, you want to have, which I have not looked up in a while, but you want to hear a stupid fact about Wright State and a local basketball team of ours?
Sure.
And again, I have not looked it up in a couple years, but at one point in time, the leading 3-point shooter for Wright State in history was a young man named Andy Holderman out of North Manchester, Indiana.
Oh.
Went to Wright State, actually played against Bob Knight and IU. They were one of the 1 versus 16 seeds back in the day, I think. But yes. Just like that. And again, he could have been dethroned 4 or 5 years ago. I don't know. But as a kid growing up, I always remember Andy Holderman just used to drain buckets to the North Manchester Squires.
All right. Good old Squires. We're not even going to get into the Squires tonight. That's another rabbit hole. We're not going down that one.
When I saw Wright State, I mean, that's the only reason I can relate to Wright State is because, whatever.
All right. So, yeah, they said they're impressed with Top Flight. So they said next week, bring Top Flight and AR Fox, and they'll put the trios titles on the line. And then Stokely, Ethan Page, and Matt Hardy, and the one private party guy show up. I can't remember which one. And they say they should have a shot at the trios this Friday night since they don't have anything to do this week. Now, what I loved, and I don't know if you caught this, and I had to rewind it to make sure I saw this. Omega was standing there doing the looking for thing, and he's going, I don't see Stokely. Where's Hathaway at? And he's like, I'm right here. I know you can see me. So there, other people are making fun of him for you, Shep.
I like it. All right. So I Uncle Google, right?
You Uncle Google.
So Andy Holderman was 1990 to 1994. He made 197 3-pointers.
Wow.
Okay. He is second all time. Grant Benzinger from 2014 to 18, he made 291. He shot a lot.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Okay.
Just a little bit.
Anyways, second all time leading 3-point shooter. Anyway, next.
All
right.
Bryan Danielson, Timothy Thatcher, 1-on-1 in a wrestling match. Lots of hard hits, lots of damage done to that shoulder. This was the first time I had seen Thatcher. And I was kind of browsing Twitter while this was on just to see what people were saying about Thatcher. Apparently, he had a stint in NXT.
Oh, you didn't know that?
I did not. I didn't watch NXT.
Yeah.
Even when Cole was on there, I didn't watch NXT.
Yeah. Boy, him and Tommaso Ciampa had just some bangers. I mean, I don't know. I mean, those guys had to do 4-hour ice baths, I'm guessing, after some of their matches. But yeah, I remember watching him on NXT a little bit. I think he got released when Vince took over, basically, and cut all of the Triple H talent. And obviously he ended up over at Pro Wrestling Noah in Japan and doing well over there. He did, I think they said he was at one point tag champions with Minoru Suzuki.
Oh, wow.
And I saw that him and Minoru went face to face in one of Barnett's blood sports that we'll probably get during Mania weekend. So I saw them two go. I think those two went head to head in a match there. So, I mean, he definition. Just look at his ring gear. Definition of old school. Definition of strong style. I think he's just a mean son of a buck. Be quite honest with you.
All right. Well, he appeared that way, that's for sure. Towards the end of this match, the referee's actually accidentally taken down, leads to MJF appearing. However, before he can get into the ring, your boy shows back up. Takeshita appears through the crowd, jumps MJF as he fights him to the back. Meanwhile, inside the ring, Thatcher locks in the armbar, but Danielson gets to the ropes, hits a German suplex, following it with the Pisaki knee, and gets the victory.
Yeah, I thought it was a good way to end the match. I liked MJF coming down. Takeshita comes in and handles MJF, and I think Shivani made 2 comments tonight that growing up, that was his idol was Daniel.
Oh, okay.
So Daniel's son, sorry.
Daniel's son.
Yeah. So, I mean, so he's protecting you in that way. And then we get a little backstage segment. Them two still going at it. They get separated, and out of nowhere,
Renee pops up
and says, "You boys got a match this week. I just talked to Tony Khan."
Yes. And you said earlier, I want to get away from this since we did in the men's side of things. It's an eliminator title match.
Yeah, I caught that. I remember like Moxley winning the title a couple times on a Saturday, and then following Wednesday hit an eliminator match.
Yes. Yeah, it's weird. I don't see why you do those things, but
I don't see MJF winning that match.
No,
there's going to be something that goes on.
Yeah,
obviously he's going to win, but
yeah.
So
maybe title's not on the line; it's just shot at a future title,
which this will be
a future title shot.
Yeah, this will be the first time we've seen him wrestle in 23, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course, he only wrestled 9 times last year.
Right. And
I bet you we don't see him wrestle 15 times this year.
No. So quickly, MJF runs, cools down, changes shirts, throws the scarf on, throws some sunglasses on, and walks in the door and offers Roosh a briefcase of money and says he has 5 more of them just like it if he can beat Bryan Danielson next week and rip his arm off.
So the first mistake was let's go back to Renee Paquette, and that was not Renee.
No.
And then he comes in completely changed.
Yes.
So obviously this was a pre-recorded segment,
Mm-hmm.
and it didn't fit.
No.
Not that the segment was bad. Okay.
No, it was a good
I
segment.
love MJF comes in and basically makes fun of Spanish, right?
Yeah.
I mean, as the healer that he is. I like Rouge. He doesn't talk very good. Well,
No.
he doesn't speak English very good. He's got to work on that.
Vance standing there. He's got a beard now.
Yeah, Vance just stands there. I love that MJF made the translator do his job.
Mm-hmm.
Called him a few choice words. I mean, I like the segment, but what awful place segment.
Man.
This segment could have went off after Samoa Joe runs away from Wardlow. If we had a minute and a half of television left, you cut away, and this is how you end it.
Yeah.
It's your world champion. You might as well end it with your world champion.
Or even in between Jade's match and the main event. It would have fit there better than right after we just saw MJF get in a fight backstage.
With a completely different outfit on.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Props to him for changing so fast.
He's the world champion. And he's better than you, and you know it.
Yes, he is better than me, and I do know it. A lot of people are, Shep. Jeez, gotta call me out like that, man.
Hey, I couldn't change that fast. I'm fat.
Right? We would have gone in there, half the shirt button, still buttoning it up, tucking it in.
I could not have looked that groomed. How about that?
No. Especially after you just messed up your own hair. Well, okay, not for you because you keep it short, but MJF keeps it a little longer, and he had it nice and smooth right back out, like he had never gotten into a fight. Up next is the TBS championship match. Jade Cargill 49-0 going into this match to take on Red Velvet, and the big question is, will Red Velvet be the one in 49-1? No, she was not. Some good offense from her, though. This match went longer than I expected it to. Last time these two faced off early on in Jade's career, it was a squash match for Jade.
Yeah. There's some matches that Jade puts on that I'm like, man, she could be really good. And then there's some matches I'm like, not so. This match was so. And I don't know if it's maybe because of who she's working with.
Brandy 2.0.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, just wasn't. I don't know. It was fine. It is what it is. She's 50-0 now.
So how long till she drops it? To Double or Nothing or All Out. All right. You think she'll carry it
to
the summer at least?
Yeah. One of those two shows. The two big shows, I feel like.
All right. So Jade's now 50-0. Picks up the victory. Again, Red Velvet looking good here for what she's done in the past. The end of this match was a little convoluted. I know why they did it, but at the same time, why do you send another ref down? Aubrey was already distracted, which is what she needed to do. Why do you send another ref down? I didn't get that point. Twitter didn't seem to like that either, but
Yeah, you had to make sure the distraction was long enough.
Yeah. So now she's trying to get the other ref out of here too. And
so I would say your next TBS champion will be a returning Thunder Rosa at some point.
All right. I wasn't sure if you'd go there or Statlander, because both of them could be coming back at any time.
Yeah. I would say Thunder Rosa over Statlander.
So I can agree with that. Do you have them debut or return after her match and make their intentions clear for the title? Right then and there.
You do that, or you have her come out and say, "Look, I've beat everybody on this roster. You send me a surprise at such and such pay-per-view, and I'll wipe the, you even go to the thing. You send me somebody from every other company, yada yada yada, and then you have a returning Thunder Rosa, basically." And
I'm just glad you didn't do what Tanner would have done, and he probably would have said Mercedes.
I don't. Yeah, I mean, no. Well, here's the thing: if she's going for New Japan Gold, I don't think she's going to come into AEW and go for TBS Gold.
No. And see, that's kind of why I'm torn.
Tag would be.
Yeah, that's why I'm torn on the Thunder Rosa thing, because she's already been world champion. That'd kind of be a step down for her.
Yeah, but didn't her and Jade had some beef there right before she got hurt? Right?
A little bit, yeah, because I think we were going to eventually set up for that whole Jade Thunder Rosa for the women's title.
Yeah, so. And
then she'd be 2-belt Jade or whatever she'd call herself.
Yeah, Jade's not ready for that yet.
No. We go backstage to Britt Baker in the medical room. She says she's fine. Ruby Soho appears to check on her. Baker says they are Soho's girls who attacked her, but she claims that she had nothing to do with it. You didn't need this segment. I understand why you did, because, Britt came out to help Ruby. So it's like, well, it's this. And then again, Ruby's known them longer than she's known Britt. So, and those two just had a very hellacious feud. Why does Ruby care how Britt is?
Yeah. So, yeah, I get like what you're saying you're doing there, but eventually, obviously, Ruby's going to be with Saraya and Tony if we're predicting correctly.
Yeah. Main event time. Darby Allin, Samoa Joe, no holds barred TNT Championship match. Darby hits the ring with a hoodie full of thumbtacks.
I feel bad for the wardrobe person that has to put these things together.
Yeah. Hey, I'm going to go out with a hoodie full of thumbtacks tonight, and the hoodie needs to be 2 sizes too big on me.
Yeah. How many finger pricks and blood was putting those things on? But I mean, typical Darby match, just doing stuff that he's not. He shouldn't be around here in the next 10 to 15 years.
I'm not sure he will be.
But the steps into the ring spot where he basically bounced off of him and landed in the crowd darn near on his feet was crazy.
Yeah, Joe throwing him over like he was a freaking t-shirt he just took off.
Yeah.
Oof.
The dive through the ropes, and even Shivani called it out. His heel hit the ropes. He didn't hit the table exactly. And I'm pretty sure, and I rewatched it. The dive spot where he hit the table into Joe, I think Joe got cut open the hard way there.
I think so.
Because if you look at the cut, it's above the eye and it's vertical.
Yeah.
Where that's not obviously where they would do that.
Right.
So I think that was unintentional, but it is what it is in the type of match.
Oh yeah, it's bound to happen anytime you're in a Darby Allin match.
Then Darby exposing the boards on the ring.
Yep.
Taking the foam out. Pretty big spot. That couldn't have felt good.
No, it does not.
Overall, a typical Darby match.
Yeah.
It makes sense putting the belt back on Joe.
The king of TV, self-proclaimed king of TV.
King of TV, and then I think we talked about it last week. Where the heck's this guy been?
Yep.
At the end of that, here comes Wardlow, obviously new haircut, high and tight, and tries to take care of Joe, and Joe rolls out of there before the power bomb. But
yeah, so security gets a power bomb.
Yeah,
I didn't catch who it was that got the power bomb.
Well, Turbo used to be in the security deal back in.
I think he was security when he was breaking up MJF.
Was he? Okay, I didn't see.
I think so. Well, there were two blonde guys there.
Yeah.
There's a short-haired guy this time.
But, I know. Yeah, typical Derby match. Makes sense putting the belt back on Joe. Like you said, the king of TV. Obviously, we got a ROH pay-per-view coming in March, I think, right?
Yeah, it's after Revolution.
Yeah.
I think it's like the week after.
I don't necessarily want to see a Warlord Joe match again. Maybe we'll get that at Revolution. But obviously Joe's going to be on that card. So, yeah, it was okay.
Yeah. Super Card of Honor. Oh, March 31st.
So, yeah, we got 2 months yet.
Yeah. It's got time to build it. Hopefully. It is TK who occasionally forgets to do a storyline. So, all right, Shep. We've made it this far with only 1 or 2 rabbit holes, so I'm pretty impressed. I was guessing 4 or 5 tonight, but I was originally going to limit you to 5, so we're good. Wrestler of the night.
Man. I'm going to go John Moxley.
All right. I'm going to go, because it was new to me, Timothy Thatcher.
Something different on TV tonight. Definitely.
Yeah. You get a little bit of that hardcore feel, but yet it was more of a wrestling match than anything.
Correct.
So, yeah, I'm good with that. Rating for tonight.
Overall, solid show. I'm going solid 6-8.
All right, now I'm just looking like I'm going higher than you. I'm going to go 7-2.
Yeah. If you go back on the last, I don't know how many episodes we've done together.
Yes.
If you would compare our numbers, those have got to be pretty close to what we've done in the past. So.
Yeah. And I got to say, I don't know how long KOP has been doing this, since 21, I think. You can tell the new toy feel has kind of rubbed off, because we were up at 8 and 9s a lot in the beginning, and we're coming down to the 6s and 7s now in our ratings.
Yeah. I mean, I think, we're 4 years into Dynamite, right?
Yeah.
So I think it should be held to a different standard.
Oh, yeah.
Just because at first, even though Tony had some veterans there, some of the guys were new to television. He was new to television, especially with the book.
Mm-hmm.
As we saw on Raw 30, having the book's not this easy, guys.
No.
But that was a great Triple H quote.
I loved that from him.
That was great. So no, I think it was a solid show. I could have done without a couple things. But hey, that's why we're the podcasters that can critique it, and they're the guys that actually produce it with all the money involved. So
exactly, we don't get paid yet to do this. Maybe one day
when we're
5-star KOP.
7-star.
So, I was leaving that for FTR.
7.1 star.
Ooh, I don't know if Dax will like that.
I'm coming for you, Dax. Different rating scale for podcasts compared to wrestlers from Meltzer.
Yes.
Yeah.
We might get lucky to get 5-star one day. I don't know. In Canada, we'll probably get 5-star pretty soon.
Dude, Canadians love shit.
Yes, they do, with all of your NHL knowledge.
Tons.
Yes. Yes.
Marty McSwirly. He's me boy. Look him up.
I was told as I was putting together the new intro for the show that you pronounced his name wrong. So
Marty McSwirly?
Yeah. Ask the professor.
Oh. I was 7 beers deep from the course and 3 boxes deep from the round, and there was this guy on stage. And I thought his name was Marty McSwirly. So,
man, I think you're close.
Is it McSwirly or McSwirly?
I don't know.
All right, ask
yeah, and then I'm going to text it to you, and you're going to go, "That's what I said." No, it's how it's pronounced. So. All right. Hey, be sure to follow the Kicking Out podcast wherever it is you follow or listen to your podcasts. Yeah, sure. Let's try this all over again, shall we? Yeah, take 75. Be sure to listen to the Kicking Out podcast wherever it is you listen to your podcasts. And if that happens to be Apple Podcasts, give us that 5-star rating because, well, Sheb wants to be 7-star KOP, but we're shooting for 5-star KOP. That's the goal. You got to start small and then you make your way up. FTR didn't become 7-star FTR overnight. Okay, yeah, they did, but in a sense. Yeah, be sure to follow the Kicking Out podcast on all social media at Kicking Out Pod. Check out kickingOutshop.com. You can get some great merchandise from the Kicking Out podcast. You can support a great podcast, look great doing so. Be sure to follow Austin Shepherd at the Shep27 on Twitter. Be sure to follow myself at Paul Zartman 921. I'll still go ahead and throw out the temporary KOP champion, Tanner Lee. Be sure to follow him at Tanner Lee 92 because he's the young pup. But yeah. Any final thoughts here, Shep, before we officially close this thing out?
Nope. It was a decent show tonight. Enjoyed it. We got a lot of good professional wrestling for the next, about 60 days?
Yeah.
A lot to cover. A lot of independent stuff, obviously, with WrestleMania weekend.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of stuff going on. A lot of big names that we actually didn't talk about. That's a free agent from New Japan. But,
yes. Are we going to get into another rabbit hole in the close?
No, we're done.
Okay.
We'll talk about that next week. But yeah, we got a lot to look forward to coming up. Pretty exciting. Again, it's WrestleMania season, so a lot of stuff going on. A lot of events going on.
Anything can happen.
Anything can happen. Surprise appearances, and so yeah, I would say here coming closer to WrestleMania, you better get ready to have a little extra long podcast because the rabbit holes might get deeper.
All right. I was going to say let's shoot for that one on April 19th, but that's post WrestleMania.
That is post WrestleMania.
So we'll do it ahead of WrestleMania. Maybe we just won't even talk AEW and we'll just talk strictly rabbit holes. I don't know.
I mean,
tune in for the rabbit hole episode of the Kicking Out podcast coming soon. At least we're warning everybody.
Yeah. We'll give you a choice.
You'll know because it'll just say rabbit holes in the title. That's all it'll say.
Yes.
All right, Shep, thanks so much for joining me this week. And hopefully we're back to a 3-man crew next week if, somebody decides to stop dribbling balls.
He at least could have went to a better game than he went to tonight, but that's a whole nother conversation.
All right. Yeah, we'll leave that rabbit hole for next week, too.
Yep.
For Austin Shepherd, I'm Paul Zartman. Join us again next week as we kick out yet another podcast.